Hey guys, this is the why 90% of people fail at velocity banking and how to avoid it. Let's get it. 90% of people who try velocity banking set themselves up to fail before they even get started. And instead of saving money, they make costly mistakes that end up destroying the very savings they were chasing. So if you're thinking about using a HELOC to pay off debt, you need to watch this first, because avoiding these mistakes could literally save you tens of thousands of dollars. In this video, I'm going to break down the 7 costly mistakes most people make so you don't end up wiping out your savings or digging yourself into a deeper hole. Now, let me be clear, velocity banking can work, but only if done right. It's one of the smartest ways to accelerate your debt payoff, but the problem isn't the idea, it's the execution. And that's exactly what we're going to fix today. Hey, I'm Adam Carroll, founder of the Shred Method, and I help homeowners take control of their mortgage, pay it off decades earlier, and start building real wealth in record time. With that out of the way, let's dive in. Here's a quick refresher. Before we get to those mistakes, let's quickly refresh what velocity banking actually is. Velocity banking is about using a line of credit, usually a HELOC, like a financial tool to pay off high interest debt faster. Now, instead of letting cash sit in a checking account doing nothing, you cycle your income through the home equity line of credit, lower the balance, and then use that to knock down big chunks of debt like your mortgage. The big promise is simple: pay less interest, get out of debt faster, and potentially save tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, I'm not going to dive too deep into the mechanic here in this video because I've already covered that detail in another video. So if you want to really understand step-by-step how velocity banking works, you can check out that video right here. But here's the thing, the HELOC isn't magic. It's a power tool. And just like a power saw, it can cut your project time in half, or it can cut your hand off if you don't know what you're doing. And that's why we need to talk about the 7 costly mistakes people make when they try velocity banking. And I'm going to use velocity banking and the Shred Method somewhat interchangeably, as the Shred Method uses velocity banking premises. Mistake number 1, weighing it without a plan. The biggest mistake I see is people jumping into velocity banking with no plan. They hear about the concept, they like the idea of beating the bank at its own game, and they dive in head first without any kind of plan. It's like trying to take a cross-country trip without GPS. Sure, you might eventually get there, but you'll waste gas, time, and probably end up stranded a few times along the way. I've seen families jump into velocity banking without mapping their cash flow. And instead of saving money, they end up overspending, misusing the HELOC, and digging themselves deeper into debt. The truth is, velocity banking only works if you know exactly how much money is coming in, how much is going out, and when you can safely cycle through the HELOC each month. Without that clarity, you're guessing. And guessing with your finances is never a strategy. Mistake number 2, refinancing blindly. On the surface, refinancing feels like a win. You see a lower monthly payment and you think, great, I'm saving money. But in reality, you may be setting yourself up to pay way more in interest. Here's a simple example. Let's say you've got 20 years left on your mortgage. You refinance into a new 30-year loan with a slightly lower rate. Sure, your payment drops, but now you've added 10 extra years of payments. That's tens of thousands of dollars in extra interest. The piece most people miss is known as the effective APR. It's not just the interest rate you see on paper, it's the real cost of the loan when you add up how much you'll actually pay over the full term. Velocity banking is supposed to speed things up, but if you refinance without looking at the true cost, you're not saving money, you're probably giving more of it to the bank. Mistake number 3, playing it too safe with cash flow. The third mistake is on the opposite end of the spectrum, being too conservative with your cash flow. Playing it too safe with your money can actually make velocity banking less effective and or useless. Some people are so afraid of running short that they keep every extra dollar in savings instead of using it strategically. It feels safe, but in reality, it slows the whole process down. Imagine someone with $10,000 sitting in a savings account, earning less than 1% interest, while their mortgage is costing them 5 or 6%. By hoarding that cash, they're losing money every single month. Velocity banking only works if you put idle money to work, cycling it through the HELOC, so it's cutting down your interest. Now, being overly cautious isn't safe either. It's just another way of letting the bank win. Full disclaimer here. Some amount of emergency funds are necessary. I'm going to cover that next. So before you make a comment, watch the next section. Mistake number 4, no safety net. The fourth mistake is the exact opposite of the last one. having no safety net at all. Some people hear about velocity banking, they get excited, and they throw every extra dollar they have into their HELOC. And for a while, that looks great on paper. The debt balance drops fast, but the moment life throws them a curveball, the whole system comes crashing down. Think about it. If you lose your job, you face a medical bill, or your car suddenly breaks down, and you don't have an emergency fund, you're probably stuck. You're going to be forced to lean on borrowed money just to cover basic expenses. And that's when velocity banking goes from being a powerful tool to a source of stress. A good rule of thumb here is simple. Before you start accelerating debt payoff, build a cushion. Bare minimum, 3 months of expenses in cash means you can weather life's ups and downs without undoing all of your progress. Velocity banking isn't about leaving yourself exposed. One emergency without a safety net can sink the whole strategy. Mistake number 5, overloading the HELOC. The fifth mistake is going too big, too fast with the HELOC. A lot of people get so excited about the shred method that they dump a huge amount of debt into the HELOC right away, thinking it will speed things up. On paper, it looks like they're making massive progress, but if their monthly cash flow can't keep up, they quickly find themselves maxed out and stressed out. It's a bit like loading your plate at a buffet with way more food than you can actually eat. At first, it looked impressive. You got everything piled high, but soon it turns into waste. And with a HELOC, overloading it just means you're carrying a balance you can't comfortably pay down, which defeats the purpose of using the system in the first place. Listen, the system is designed to work in cycles, not in one giant leak. Smaller, consistent chunk keep your cash flow moving and your debt balance dropping. Trying to force all of it at once only creates pressure, and that pressure is what causes most people to quit before they ever see the real benefits. Mistake number 6, no exit strategy. The 6th mistake is not having an exit strategy. People get so locked into the idea of velocity banking that they don't think about how life might change along the way. Maybe you switch jobs, maybe a baby arrives, maybe your expenses suddenly spike. And if you don't have a plan to adjust, the very strategy that once felt empowering can turn into a constant source of stress. I've seen this happen with families who are doing great with the shred method until a major life event hit. Overnight, their cash flow shifted, but they kept trying to push the same aggressive plan. Instead of helping, the HELOC can sometimes become a burden that you can't manage. So know this, velocity banking, the shred method, it isn't a forever commitment. It's a tool. And like any tool, you need to know when to put it down or when to scale it back. Having an exit strategy doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you're staying flexible. And that flexibility is what keeps the system working for you instead of against you. The shred method coaches are well-versed in how to scale up and scale back based on our users' needs. Mistake number 7, thinking it's all or nothing. And a 7th mistake is believing velocity banking using the shred method is an all or nothing game. A lot of people think they need to commit this strategy for decades or it's not worth doing. That mindset will keep them from ever getting started, or words it makes them give up too soon because they feel like they can't stick with it forever. The truth is, even a short run can have a massive impact. I've seen people use velocity banking for just 18 months and knock tens of thousands of dollars off of mortgage interest. You don't need to be in it for life. You just need the discipline to use it during the season when it makes sense. Velocity banking is a tool. You can pick it up, you can put it down as your financial life changes. Thinking that it only works if you go all in is what stops most people from experiencing the benefit. So even a year or two of smart, consistent effort can completely change your financial trajectory and the financial future of generations to come. Okay, so here's the big takeaway. Velocity banking and the shred method can be one of the smartest ways to accelerate debt payoff, but only if you do it right. The strategy itself isn't broken. What breaks it are these 7 mistakes: diving in without a plan, refinancing blindly, being too cautious or not cautious enough, overloading the HELOC, ignoring the need for an exit strategy, or believing it has to be all or nothing. So if you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to subscribe because I share practical strategies like this every week to help you pay off debt and build wealth faster. And if you want to go even deeper into the mechanics of how velocity banking actually works step by step, check out the video that I've linked right here. It'll give you the full walkthrough so you can see exactly how to put the strategy into action. But if you want help putting this theory into action, you can reach out to us using the link in the description. And our team at the Shred Method will help you figure out exactly how you can make the strategy work for you. I'll see you in the next video.